we've got some exciting news from Brad Winderbaum. While we wait for Season 2 of Marvel Animation's hit series X-Men '97, executive producer Brad Winderbaum just dropped a big teaser about what's next for our favorite mutants. In an interview alongside supervising producer Jake Castorona and director Emi Emmett Yonemura, Winderbaum was asked what they could reveal about the highly anticipated second season. His answer? 2 more X teams will be making an appearance. He said, "There's many teams in Marvel that have the letter X that are followed by a hyphen. I would put it to you like this, there's 2 other X teams in Season 2. So it's basically confirmed that more X teams are coming, but the big question is, which ones?" At D23, the Marvel Animation panel revealed that Polaris, Lady Deathstrike, and Sabretooth will be in X-Men '97 Season 2. In the comics, Lorna Dane, aka Polaris, was part of X-Factor, which at different times included Havoc, Wolfsbane, and Quicksilver. Meanwhile, Lady Deathstrike and Sabretooth were involved in forming the Weapon X-Men, a group that originally featured Mystique, Domino, Warpath, and Old Man Logan. Later, when Logan and Warpath left, the team became Weapon X-Force. Based on what we know, it's a pretty safe bet that the 2 X-Men teams teased by Winderbaum are X-Factor and a version of the Weapon X-Men. New Mutants and X-Teams aren't the only things coming in Season 2. At D23, the Marvel Animation panel revealed that the characters will be rocking new suits inspired by Grant Morrison and Frank Quitely's new X-Men run. Plus, What If writer Matthew Chauncey is taking over as head writer, replacing Beau DeMaio, who left Marvel before Season 1 even dropped. X-Men '97 has been a dream come true for fans who've missed X-Men the Animated Series since it ended in the late 90s. Even before it scored an Emmy nomination, the show had already been renewed for Seasons 2 and 3. While details are still under wraps, through Brad Winderbaum we know that editing for Season 2 was already underway as of May 2024, and the writer's room is busy crafting storylines for Season 3. Anyway, back to one of the 2 teams most likely to make it to Season 2, I'm talking about X-Factor. I actually think this team would fit into the main MCU timeline really well, maybe even better than the X-Men. Marvel's mutants will eventually hit the big screen, but the MCU has been keeping its plans under wraps. We know a Fantastic Four movie is coming, and there have been plenty of hints about old X-Men returning for Secret Wars. It seems like the MCU is waiting for the right moment to reveal the X-Men's comeback, but maybe X-Factor would be the better way to introduce mutants. There have already been 10 X-Men or Wolverine movies from Fox, and after the franchise's last 2 entries, its reputation isn't the best. Instead of jumping straight into another X-Men reboot, the MCU could take a different approach. The New Mutants didn't land well, and Fox turned X-Force into a joke in Deadpool 2, so maybe it's time for something fresh. After Secret Wars, done deal. Rather than reintroducing Wolverine, Cyclops, Jean Grey, Professor X, and Magneto, characters we've seen over and over, the MCU could focus on lesser-known mutants. An X-Factor series on Disney Plus would be the perfect way to bring in a whole new world of mutant heroes without relying on the usual X-Men lineup. When X-Factor first debuted in Marvel Comics in 1986, created by Bob Layton and Jackson Guice, the team was all about rescuing mutants in danger whenever they were needed. But forget about the original lineup. Over the years, new faces have taken on those roles. They initially posed as mutant hunters, but that was just a cover for their real mission, saving mutants from humans who feared and hated them. X-Factor found scared, hidden mutants and brought them in for training and protection. That kind of setup seems like a perfect way to introduce mutants into the MCU. If mutants suddenly appear out of nowhere, it makes sense that regular people would fear them. A team like X-Factor, brought in under the guise of protecting the public from mutants while secretly working to save them, could help ease those fears while also protecting new mutants. This setup would introduce fresh characters to the MCU, both as team members and the mutants they rescue. It could even lead to the discovery of a key young mutant, someone the MCU could build its new franchise around, much like Rogue in the original X-Men movies. The team could feature some of X-Factor's more recent members, bringing fresh faces to the MCU. Northstar, who currently leads the team in the comics, and Multiple Man, a former leader, would be great choices. This would introduce Northstar to movie audiences and give Jamie Madrox a proper reintroduction after being completely underused in X-Men: The Last Stand. Other potential members could include Northstar's sister Aurora, Siren, Prodigy, Polaris, Daken, and maybe even a well-known character like Gambit to appeal to non-comic book fans. As a Disney Plus series, this would allow more time to develop these characters than a single movie ever could. On top of introducing a whole new world of mutants, it could also bring a fresh type of villain into the MCU. Most of the recent X-Men movies focused on world-ending threats like Apocalypse, Phoenix, or dystopian futures with Sentinels wiping everyone out. X-Factor could take a different approach, making the stakes more personal while still expanding the mutant side of the MCU. One of the villains the Fox X-Men movies seemed to be building toward was Mr. Sinister. His company played a role in the cloning experiments in Logan and was behind the prison hospital in the New Mutants. Sinister is always after mutants he can manipulate, experiment on, and clone, which makes him a perfect antagonist for X-Factor. With X-Factor focused on rescuing endangered mutants, the MCU could shift its storytelling toward mutant-targeting threats rather than another global disaster. A fresh lineup and a new direction would make X-Factor the ideal team to introduce mutants into the MCU. Following the critical success of X-Men '97, Marvel Studios started the development of its live-action MCU X-Men movie. The Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes writer Michael Leslie has reportedly been tapped to pen the project's screenplay. At the moment, the film is still in the early phase of development, with no director or cast attached to it yet. Alright, enough about that. Let's talk about what X-Men '97 star Lenore Zann teased about Rogue's storyline in Season 2. Zann, who has voiced Rogue since the original X-Men the Animated Series, recently shared what fans can expect in the upcoming season of the Disney Plus revival. In Season 1, Rogue went through heartbreaking loss when Gambit sacrificed himself during the attack on Genosha. She spent the rest of the season consumed by grief, determined to avenge his death. According to Zann, Season 2 will continue Rogue's pursuit of justice. With the X-Men, for better or for worse, all roads usually end up leading to Apocalypse, right? Castorina said. What I will say is we do things on purpose. Everything is meticulously done for a reason. For those looking to see where Apocalypse goes with the tattered card in his hand, just have to watch Season 2 to find out. Well, that's it for today. Let me know what you think in the comments below. And don't forget to subscribe, because we'll be covering more updates on this soon and other exciting upcoming movies and series. We'll see you next time.